thing that I was looking forward to, and I know that, for the people out there who don't understand how the creative juices get flowing when it comes to Two in the Cooler, the answer is they don't. We just kind of wing things and make it seem like we might have an idea. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I feel like oftentimes we hop on for the who would win of the week, and one of us like maybe can't even remember what it is because it just gets thrown out there so quick.
Oh, that's happened maybe once or twice.
Yeah, yeah. That's when I tee Andy up. If I tee Andy up, it's because I don't remember.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. Um, so there you go. That's how you try to build the foundation of a successful podcast. But this one I was excited for. I had kind of thought back and forth, and you had texted me a few ideas, and we had ran the idea of almost like a March Madness bracket type way of doing all the past who would win of the weeks throughout the year of 2020. But that's just that's a time consuming. That's a whole That's over
Next
an episode
we'll
itself.
That,
So
not this year.
yeah, we it's content to come, but just wasn't in the cards this year with everything going on. But what we kind of did decide to do is just a pick of kind of our favorite person throughout the year. We're gonna throw them in a who would win of the week. Excuse me, and we're gonna battle it out. So Andrew has selected Danny Trejo, who, as we know, is not very tall, although Andy seems to think he is so tough. And I have selected Jack Sparrow. So that is this week's Who Would Win of the Week. It's kind of a collab of all our favorites. Well, not all of them, but a collab of two of each of our favorites. We got Andy in Danny Trejo's corner, me in Jack Sparrow's corner. We're going to duke it out. Andy, let's kick it off. Bell has rung. Boom.
It's so obvious that Danny Trejo would win, especially this matchup. And the reason for that is, I think, mainly because of the toughness factor. Now, I'll get into this more as we keep going, but Jack Sparrow's a pirate, which if you live, yo ho, a pirate's life for me, there's no way that that's easy, right? For anybody who's a pirate in Jack Sparrow's time, it's never easy. But Jack Sparrow's a real shyster, to borrow a term, and when faced with opposition, his instinct is to run away. Danny Trejo is, in a way, you could say a modern-day pirate because I think that he has that toughness now that those pirates did back then. Obviously, it came about in a different way. They got their bearings on the high seas. Danny Trejo got it from growing up, having to fight his whole life, dealing with drugs and crime, obviously going to prison and things like that. And so in this case, when you have a quote-unquote pirate like Danny Trejo going up against a pirate like Jack Sparrow, I mean, when you put the gloves on, it's over. I mean, Jack Sparrow, I think that he would here's how it would go. Jack Sparrow would be in the middle of a sentence, and Danny Trejo would just whop him right in the face. And Jack Sparrow would fall immediately. Hold on. And then he would kind of dance back up like, whoa, huh? And then he would get punched again, and then it's lights out.
So I'm going to say something first. I'm going to put a time limit on this because it's very obvious that we're never going to reach an agreement.
Okay.
So let's call it by 9:12.
That's 6 minutes from now.
Coming to an end.
All
right, 9:15.
Soft agree. Okay.
Okay, we'll aim for around 9 because this is never going to go anywhere. And let me just. Okay. First of all, you talk about how it being difficult to be a pirate in the era that Jack Sparrow was a pirate. Well, guess what? It wasn't difficult for Jack Sparrow. And when this fight takes place, at the end of the day, Danny Trejo will be sitting there and he will forever remember that was the day that he almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. Because let me tell you something right now. Yes, Jack Sparrow's tendency is definitely to run away, but if I was as good at running away as Jack Sparrow, it would be my tendency too. You're telling me that a guy who has an octopus for a face and controls a ship that lives underwater, that jumps out of the water and eats other ships, it's called a kraken. He controls this animal. You're telling me Jack Sparrow can work his way out of that, but he can't work his way out of a little scuffle with Danny Trejo? Mm-hmm. Danny Trejo doesn't even own a boat, probably. Not one that can sail the 7 seas.
Okay.
Let's be real. Here's the thing. No, I'm still going. I gave you your time. You respect my opinion. You give me my time. I think that if this was I gotta be careful with my words here. I understand that Danny Trejo is the tougher, better fighter option. But we're talking about Jack Sparrow. This is the most elusive man, and people think he's an idiot. Guess what, people? You guys are wrong. And I'll tell you why. And that is because you just are. And actually, I've just gotten some feedback live on the stream. I have a special guest who I'm calling in to join us right now to explain exactly the scenario of what's going on here. Everybody, Alex Bauer has entered the room. Say hello, Alex.
I'm back, bitches. What's up?
Explain what you just said to me.
I said, dude, he could literally just fake dead. He faked dead through like that. Remember, it's the second or third movie at the start of it. He's like in one of those camps where they let the people sit in the cages where they get picked at by birds, and then they wait until you're dead and throw you in a coffin. He faked dead to get out of there with a picture of a key. That doesn't what's he say? He goes, are we gonna go get the key that unlocks the treasure? And he goes, even better, a picture of a key. Just for a picture of a key, not even a real key. So I don't even know who he's fighting, but I guarantee you Jack Sparrow wins. The dude is invincible.
Matthew, plug your headphones back in.
Yeah.
And give them to Alice, because that'll mess up with the sound. Okay, so he's going up against Danny Trejo. Jack Sparrow is.
Danny Trejo's a bitch.
I don't even know who Danny Trejo is.
You don't know who Danny
I'll show you
Trejo
who he is right now.
Jesus Christ.
He better be a pirate.
That's kind of part of my argument. So anyways.
No, he's from Spy Kids.
He's not just from Spy Kids.
He's also in, wait. He's also in a...
Oh, yo, I know this dude. Yeah, okay.
But did you know, Alex, that there's a prison boxing league, and Danny Trejo got to the top of that. He's just one of the toughest guys ever to live.
Being in Dora.
Yeah, Andrew, remember he's in the Dora movie.
Yeah, I know. He's the voice
there.
of Boots. Matthew, just admit, how tough do you have to be where you can do that shit? And what I'm saying, how tough do you have to be where you can do that shit?
If you're in the Dora movie, you're never kicking Jack Sparrow's ass.
100%
Andrew, you said he'll
Matthew.
Get up and do a little dance.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
He'll hit you with a little
Listen to me.
dance.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
What you said about being a pirate is difficult, but not for Jack Sparrow because he's so cunning. He's just weaseling his way out of stuff, and it's making him soft. Jack Sparrow compared to Danny
It
Trejo
would
is
work on
soft.
Danny Trejo.
Yo, he's gonna do the same thing he would always do. He's gonna convince Danny Trejo to be on his side until he can fuck him
No.
over.
You have to listen to me. Listen to me.
I agree with that, Alex.
That's
Look at that.
That's a fine argument. Listen to me right now. That's a fine argument to make. However, one of Danny Trejo's strengths is not just his toughness; it's his street smart ability. Danny Trejo can smell bullshit from miles away. And Jack Sparrow,
Dude,
as cunning as he is, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Jack Sparrow is a bullshitter. He's a big bullshitter.
Jack Sparrow could beat Danny Trejo with his legs and his arms tied together.
All he needs is his yappers.
Yeah. The Flying Dutchman couldn't even get
See, that's what I said. And the Kraken.
Are you saying the
Kraken
Kraken and the Flying Dutchman can't beat Danny Trejo either then?
Yes, I am saying that.
Danny Trejo
honestly.
stands no chance against the goddamn. I know. So I've now brought in the cavalry.
Danny Trejo would knock Jack Sparrow's ass out. It would be
Jack Sparrow would dance
toast.
circles around Danny Trejo.
No, he would not.
You said it yourself. He'd get a little bit like this, a little glass of rum, a little bottle of rum for Jack Sparrow, and his shoulders get all loose and his hands come up.
What are we even
and then he
talking
starts
about
talking.
here? What are we even
Next
talking
thing
about
Next thing you know, Danny Trejo is the one that's trapped in a cage, begging a dog for the key, and Jack Sparrow's out running loose.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about two guys getting into a fight, getting into an altercation.
Yeah.
And nobody, almost
Jack Sparrow.
No. Danny Trejo has fought more than just about anybody on the planet. He's definitely fought more than Jack Sparrow. The Jack Sparrow doesn't stand a chance.
Andrew, you're underestimating the charisma of Jack. Has he ever been successfully caught?
He is very charismatic. What I'm saying is Danny Trejo wouldn't work on Danny Trejo. His charisma would not. His charisma would not.
Anybody
work on
who is
Trejo.
anybody who is in the Dora movie is susceptible to being persuaded by Jack Sparrow.
I think that's a very incorrect way to look at this whole thing. I think that. Yeah, I think you're looking at that from the wrong angle.
Okay. Let me put it like this, Andrew. Let me put it like this.
Keep going, Craig.
Are we battling? Okay.
Keep going, Craig.
Yeah. Craig, fuck you. 2020, 2021, no Craig. Let me put it this way to you. If you could pick the best fighter in the world, who would it be? Best fighter in the world.
I mean,
like you're putting this guy up against anybody. Well, just imagine that. Imagine you have a person of that standing in your brain. Yeah, he's just doing his own thing.
Just ignore that.
Imagine you have a person of that standing, like in your brain.
Okay.
And you put them in a ring against Jack Sparrow.
Okay.
I think it's 50-50. And Danny Trejo isn't that number one person you're thinking of, is it?
True, but I think that Danny Trejo's background suits him better than others.
So you're saying that you're basing. Okay, well we've pretty much hit our time deadline, but I'm gonna say this and then I'll let you say whatever.
Okay.
You're basing your choice of Danny Trejo winning off the fact that you think that Danny Trejo's past experiences in life have made his BS meter so high that he could never get BS'd by Jack Sparrow. Is that what you're saying?
That's not all I'm saying, but for the argument that you're presenting, absolutely.
Well, everybody says you can't BS a BSer. I don't know how that applies, but it's a quote from Role Models. Jack Sparrow could BS the shit out of Danny Trejo. I guarantee you that, and I just thought of this too, and I'm just guessing, but I guarantee you if Jack Sparrow if Danny Trejo was ready to step up and beat the wheels off of Jack Sparrow, which I believe that if it came down to it, he would. Like, I'm not saying that Danny Trejo wouldn't beat up Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that I think that they would, like Jack Sparrow, exactly what Alex said, would talk Danny Trejo into his corner until Jack Sparrow was confident enough that he was able to burn that bridge, and then he'd fry Danny Trejo. And I say that because I really think that based on the guy that I imagine Danny Trejo being, no matter how pissed he was at Jack Sparrow, if Jack Sparrow pulls out a bottle of rum and starts shooting the shit with Danny Trejo's going to love the guy. He's going to trust the guy. And then guess what Jack Sparrow's going to do? He's going to stab him in the back while he's sleeping. And the fight's over. He's the master BSer. He gets himself out of any situations by just being a fucking idiot. That's how he thrives. You think being a pirate is tough for Jack Sparrow? He does that shit in his sleep. He's never planned a thing out in his life. He's got a compass that follows him in the direction of what he most wants in life. Hold that compass up. You just run away from Danny Trejo for a couple days. He'd probably get tired.
All right, let's close this thing out.
Jack Sparrow was able to convince that whole colony of cannibals that he was a god, and eventually
People
did
that
backfire
had
because they
never
tried to eat him.
met someone from outside of their ever.
Yeah, and he was able to convince them that he was a god.
Yes, and that puts them at a complete disadvantage. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, get out of Dodge.
You're.
Regardless, okay, so we knew that
that one. But oh my god,
we knew that this was not going to come to a polite ending, which is why the time limit idea got put into place. So we don't have to go any further. But I'm excited to see the vote on this one because this one is really one where social media will kind of, prevail.